Hey everybody, what's up? Physical therapist Dr. Ryan Welton coming to you. I am live on all social media platforms. I am live on YouTube under Welton Methods. I'm live on TikTok. I am live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter X, all of it. The reason why I am coming to you live is because a lot of people know me as like a clinical expert guy, right? So I have a chronic pain clinic in Tampa where, you know, most of my patients come in here with, like my last patient literally that just walked out of here. Like, I've had this pain my whole life. Lady was 60 and she has had it since she was 9, back pain. And nobody knew what to do about it, that kind of thing, right? And so this is the average type of patient I see. She had SI joint, sacral torsion, sacral shear, which I publish papers about, and I scream on here about, we need to screen these people. Anyway, so a lot of people know me as this clinical expert guy through my published papers and my online courses, or how in depth you've gone with my work. But what people don't know about me is that, and I don't talk about it, but I have had a cash-based private practice in the Tampa Bay area for almost 17 years now, okay? And I have been through the school of hard knocks. So just like in physical therapy school, right? In physical therapy school, they teach you the structure. Like, here's what you need to know to be able to figure stuff out, right? They teach us about anatomy and physiology, right? And then when we get out into the clinic, like, we have to produce the result type thing, right? And starting a cash-based clinic, a lot of people over the years have asked me, when I used to teach just clinical stuff, my myofascial method or whatever method I was teaching, they would ask me, will you teach me how to open and run one of those cash-based businesses you have in the Tampa Bay area? And for years, I said no. But now, for several years, I agreed for select physical therapists and chiropractors that had continually asked me to help them. I said, yeah, okay, all right, I'll do it. So I created a business course and I got them off the ground and running. They were employees, they worked, and they had that itch that I had, and they did not want to work for somebody anymore. They wanted to do it their way, and they wanted to work less, make more type thing. And just like my analogy is school, like, if you don't know anything about being a business person and how to run a business, then it's overwhelming, it's scary, and you can fail, and then you end up spending all kinds of money, and you failed, right? So a lot of people hire business coaches to help them. Like, every industry is saturated with these business coaches, right? I'm a very practical person. Anybody that knows me knows that everything I do is very practical. I'm not interested in fluff. I am not interested in theoretical frameworks. I am interested in, like, follow this method, my SI protocol, follow this protocol. In my paper, I outlined this is what I did. Boom, these people got better that had failed, like all kinds of different things. I'm very practical. Most people say that about me, is that everything he talks about is very, very practical, right? So what I find to be a problem in this massive coaching industry on how to open and run cash-based clinics is that everyone's talking about how to charge more from a patient, right? How to get more money from them, and they're talking about like sales tactics, right? But no one is talking about, like, you got to get the person better, right? These people are consumers, they're customers, they're bottom line people. I've been in business for 17 years, trust me. This is what they want. They want to get out of pain immediately. They want to have confidence in you that you will help them and you know what's wrong with them. And they want to get better, okay? And they want to know how to stay better. They do not want to come the rest of their life. What they want to do is get better and know how to stay better, okay? And that is what I teach. That's what I do in here, and I've done in here for, almost 2 decades, is I've created a business model where I bring in the chronic pain world. I'm not overwhelmed by it. I'm not scared about it. A lot of my colleagues now that are doing my methods, they tell me all the time, I'm not worried about it. I talked to a PT in Iowa, one of my business students in Iowa that is now 3 years into it, doing great. He works 4 days a week on purpose, doesn't even work 5 days a week because he doesn't need to. And I asked him, how he's doing, clinically and all this stuff. And he's like, I'm not worried about these chronic pain patients coming in. He can basically get anybody out of pain using my methods. So anyways, I created protocols, very practical applications, right? Now, the hole that I fill in this coaching industry is that in this coaching industry, everyone is talking about how to charge more in a cash-based clinic and sales. No one is talking about the most important thing to the patient, which is you got to get the person better, right? These people that come in and they're desperate and they're going to pay you a lot of money, that you got to get the person better. Now, where I come in is I created a hybrid course. To me, I think it's the only one that I've seen, which is it's a business course with me mentoring and working with you weekly, but it's also a clinical course where I go over how to evaluate and treat, and like tricky cases and work with you clinically too, because the most important thing is to get the person better. Like that's what they're coming for, is they're coming to get better. Okay. So on the one hand, in this new group, you can join my group, my school group. It's free. Okay. Go to weltonmethods.com, WHELTON, methods.com, should be linked in the bio. Go to weltonmethods.com and go to one of the drop downs, I think it's courses, and it says become a VIP member. Click on that and you can go to my free school group where I'm actually teaching clinically live in there. And I've been teaching, here's how I get headache patients out of headaches immediately. Here's how I evaluate and treat SI joint dysfunction. Here is a trick to ensure your sacral diagnosis is on point. Here is a secret to neck pain rehab. So I am teaching very practical, applicable things in this group, and it's free. Join that group, school group. Go to my website, become a VIP member, and join the school group. Okay, and in there you can watch those videos. It's free. Okay, and then I also talk about this more. Okay, so tomorrow I'm opening this up to a select group of people. This hybrid, to my knowledge, is the first one out there. Hybrid, a business course and clinical mentorship. Okay, so what you get in it is you get everything. So I have if you go on my website and buy them individually, I think it's like $6,000 worth of courses, but you will get everything. Okay, and you will also get access to me where I work with you. We'll do this together, and like I did to these other physical therapists and chiropractors, they had a job, and then I got them over to working for themselves. Okay, and I'll walk with you every step of the way through this process, this business process, which we did not learn in school. No one taught us this. It was very abnormal for me to even embrace business, but I'm basically unemployable. People that follow me know that I'm an independent thinker and I'm kind of a rebel. So I'm unemployable. So I had to figure it out, So, but I always had that itch even as a teenager. I was always like, I want to do this my way. Like I worked for like 2 years, just working for people, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna go do this my way. Now, I learned through the School of Hard Knocks. Okay, you have two ways of doing this. You can learn by trying to figure it out on your own, like I did after 17 years, and the trials and tribulations of owning a business. Or you can work with someone that actually has been through it that can show you the shortcuts. Okay. Hey, don't do this. Trust me, this doesn't work. Okay. Patients get big mad at you if you do or say this. Okay. Here's how to set up. I give you everything, the financial statements, like, pre-populated on Excel, how to do your finances. I will teach you marketing. I'll give you my marketing company that I use that brings these chronic patients in, even the ones that gave up going to doctors, because I see them in here all day, okay? And they're like, I gave up, but, I saw your ads, and I'm like, this guy knows what's wrong with me, and I'll show you how I do that. And they come in, and they're like, and you get them out of pain, and they're like, yeah, this guy knows. So in these cash-based courses that you see from all the industry, right? Everybody's teaching sales techniques. I don't have sales techniques. My sales technique is to get the person out of pain. I literally say on my advertising, if I can't get you out of pain on your first visit, then you don't have to pay. And people come from everywhere, literally everywhere, like hours away, plane flights, whatever. And they come in and they're like, game on, buddy. I've had this pain for 20 years. Now, that sounds overwhelming. Oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't do these chronic pain patients, chronic pain clinic or whatever. Yes, you can. This is autopilot for me. And the people that I have trained in this over the years, my methods, know that they tell me all the time, I repost these things all the time, know that this isn't hard. I made it a very practical way of how to evaluate and treat these complex issues. I don't find them complex. Like I said, I just talked to a guy in Iowa that I helped open a cash-based clinic, and he does all my methods. He doesn't find it complex. And he's basically most people get better that have failed everything type clinic, he's got going in Iowa. Good for him. Awesome physical therapist. So I also have another track, okay? So I have my hybrid clinical business mentorship, okay? And you can join my school group, weltonmethods.com. Go to become a VIP member. It is free. And then I have just the clinical mentorship. So if you're like, Ryan, I am not interested in business. I never have been. I just would like to work for someone. Then this one is for you. So what I'm doing is teaching in a group physical therapists. My goal is to get us up here diagnostically, and my goal is to get us up here in results wise, okay, even in the chronic pain world. And that's what I've been teaching for a long time and showing people in publishing papers and teaching my methods on how to actually copy and paste what I do in here, where I get exceptional results in the I've failed everything type population. Okay. So I will do clinical mentorship on one side where you get all of my courses on a massive discount. Okay. And then I would teach on the other side, I'll teach hybrid business and clinical course where not only do I teach you business, but and how to open and run a cash-based clinic, but I also teach you how to the clinical part of it, which is the most important part, is to get the person better. Nobody talks about that. It's the most important part. People all in my industry, physical therapists, are all like, well, we're doctorate degrees, we're this, we're that. No one cares. No one cares. I have been in private practice for almost 17 years, and literally nobody cares. Some people don't even know what my degree is in. Some people, They have no idea what I am. They just know about a guy that can fix people that have failed everything type situation. They don't even know what I do, or let alone what my title is, And people are all trying to gain respect for the profession of physical therapy or whatever. Like, you know how you do that? You get results. You help people that have failed everything, and people say, you need to go see this person, okay? And that's what I intend to do, is to get us all up here, okay? Let me tell you a sad, quick story, okay? Nobody wants to hear this, but I'm gonna say it. Is I was teaching, when I used to teach live before COVID, I used to teach live, and I was teaching in a place where I had a COO of a massive chain there. And I'm like, taking my course. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, I got questions for you. And because I knew he knew numbers. And I said, what percent of the people in this massive chain get better? And he said, Ryan, 50% drop off. 50%. 50% of people thought it wasn't worth their time going to the physical therapist. And the other 50, and he said, of that, 50% get better. Now, I'm not a mathematics major, and we didn't have AI at the time for me to figure this out, but I did some quick calculations, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, this is not good. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, okay. So that is when I was teaching the myofascial course, what I published describing immediate reflex pain points, I call them in that paper. I was teaching that at the time, and I'm like, I need to teach orthopedics. Okay, so that is where I started publishing papers, and I started to, show you how I'm evaluating and treating these people, and show you how, what I describe in my papers of all these people that have failed everything type thing, and how to get them better, how I got those people better. And this is what I do in here. So anyways, my goal is to get this profession from down here to up here. Now, listen, there are limited spots. I have only so much time in the day, and there are limited spots. I cannot take everybody. So if you go to my school group and you go to weltonmethods.com, my link should be in the bio, weltonmethods.com, become a VIP member and comment under my last post. You'll see it in there. My last post that you want to be in one of these spots. Now, the cost of it will be a no-brainer, meaning that you're going to get all of my courses, okay? Thousands of dollars worth of courses. It's coming out tomorrow. I'll tell you the exact thing, but it's going to be somewhere along the lines of like 50% off or so. And not only that, but you get consistent live coaching calls with me, and we'll either work on the clinical track, which is get you better as a clinician, and we'll work on the if you want to be an entrepreneur or want to transition from a insurance-based to cash-based, I will teach you how I've taught people how to do that, and had success with these people. So, and I'll also teach the clinical part over there. So limited spots, okay? I can't take everybody. And but go over there to my website and become a VIP member and join my free school group, because tomorrow this launches, and in my business course, if I can teach you how to get one patient a month, just one patient a month, then the whole thing pays for itself. Okay, so this is a very structured program, and my goal is your goal. Okay, so I had several years ago, one of my first students who was from Alaska, really nice and an excellent clinician when I met her, and then I started teaching her my methods, and she was like, she wasn't worried about getting people out of pain immediately. She wasn't worried about getting people better with these complex issues, and anyways, she only wanted to work twice a week. That's it. Twice to 3 days a week. And okay, my goal is your goal type thing, and she just wants to be a mom, and she wants to work 2 to 3 times a week and make more than what she was doing before as a staff PT. And that's what she's doing. So good for her. I am beyond proud of her. Um, and um, and she's the go-to person when nobody knows what's wrong with you in her area in Alaska. So I am grateful to be able to help. Okay, because you could say that. Do I think money buys happiness? No, I don't. But being broke buys a lot of stress. When Obamacare came in, my clinic went like this, like that, because I was new to business. I didn't adjust, and I took the biggest hit to the point that I was like, oh my God, I think I might go under. But one of the reasons why I struggled through Obamacare is because generally it takes me about 5 to 8 weeks to get these chronic pain patients better. And my papers I publish show you exactly that. Generally it takes that, right? But either most of my competitors were treating people the rest of their life, or they're 3 to 6 months, something like that, right? Now, in this industry, you get incentivized to be terrible at your job. It's the most jacked up industry I have ever seen in my life, the healthcare industry. If you stink at your job, you get paid more in co-payments. That's how the whole ridiculous system is set up. So if I see you for 6 months at $50 a pop, then I'm thinking, okay, I could not do that. I knew how to get these people better, and I refused to join that club. I refused that. I didn't need to see people the rest of their life. I just wanted to show you how to stay better on your own. I think the mark of a true healer is someone that never wants to see their patient again. And that's what I aspire to be. I don't aspire to be, somebody that's just seeing people the rest of their life, or seeing people, for 6 months or something like that, if avoidable, So this whole medical system is the most jacked up thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, what I did is, if you're a lawyer and you win all your cases, right? And you are, like some fantastic lawyer, right? You charge like $1,000 an hour, right? But then there are lawyers that lose all their cases, and they don't charge that. They charge far less than that because people aren't willing to pay that. You know what I'm saying? And what I did is I said, this system is jacked. I want nothing to do with it. I'm going to have a cash-based clinic, and I'm going to get reimbursed for my skills, because I refuse to see people the rest of their life. I refuse to tell people they need to keep coming back when they don't. I can just show them exercises, how to stay better. And I want to be paid for that, So that's what I did, is I created this business course. And now it's a hybrid business clinical model where I teach people how to open and run a cash-based clinic. And I also teach you the clinical part as well. So I will give you everything in that. And I will work with you every step of the way. It can be scary opening a business, like we didn't learn this stuff. I didn't learn it, there came a point, I was 2 years into it, right? And there came a point that I actually said to myself, this is like 2011. I'm like, yeah, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I'm just treating patients, paying bills. I didn't know what a marketing strategy was. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know about taxes. I didn't know like all these, legal things you can do to, to reduce your tax bill. And I realized that I had no idea what I was doing. So I had to learn that stuff. And then I actually just transitioned. I was in insurance at the time, and I transitioned into this cash-based model on my own. And I went through the school of hard knocks. So for about 17 years, I've been in business, and it has been quite a ride. But I learned for you. So I will tell you, don't do that. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Or, do this. It works better. Like I've taught it, just do it, and you want somebody that's been there, done that, been on the front lines, in the trenches, and understands, kind of understands what you're going through and then also help you through it, you know? So we'll have goals every week, and we'll make sure that you're staying on track and these, opening and running a cash-based clinic. So, or if you want to do just my clinical mentorship, that's available as well. Go to weltonmethods.com and sign up for my VIP inner circle. It is free, and I'm teaching on there. And you will get massive discounts on my courses. So tomorrow it launches, and I will, there are limited spots. I can't take everybody. I don't have that much time in a day, but for select people that are serious about this and want a better life, then this is the program for you. Okay? Anyways, other than that, go to my group, sign up now. All right, it's for physical therapists and chiropractors. Okay, I've taught both how to open and run these clinics. Okay, physical therapists, chiropractors, and if you want a better life, you want to stop the burnout, this insanity that they're doing to people when they're making them see 4 patients an hour, and you feel like you got caught in a hurricane or a tornado that day. You don't even have any energy to even talk to your family when you get home. I've been there. I've done that. It's job satisfaction. What's that? When you have one of those jobs. I've heard people say that, oh, you should, right out of school, you should work at a mill. And people go on Reddit and type in, or go on Google and type in, should I be a physical therapist? Reddit. It is a tragedy what you read in that group, that subreddit. People are like, it's burnout. That's what that is. It's burnout. People are like, I don't even care about my patients anymore, or I left physical therapy. It's tragic. People are like, well, I don't make enough money because I have to pay back $150,000 worth of loans and I can't afford a mortgage and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a way out of that. Okay. And the way out of that is to do it on your own and get paid for excellent skills, and stop this ridiculousness of, if I stink at this job, I get paid more in co-payments. I don't agree with that. Anyways, that's that. Other than that, go sign up, weltonmethods.com, drop down menu, go to become a VIP member, join my school group for physical therapists and chiropractors, and I teach the clinical part and then the hybrid clinical business part. Okay? Other than that, love you all. Peace.